Hey guys, PMHK here, obviously. So, Apple event, let's talk a little bit about the event itself. So, the event was basically divided into three sections. The first section was the HomePod Mini. So, Apple, like most rumors actually were saying, they announced the HomePod Mini, which is, I'm not sure if I can call it a successor of the HomePod, the big guy here. This guy came out, I think 3 years ago, to be specific, and it came out, I think, around $350, and I don't really think it sold that well. So in the past event, Apple announced the HomePod Mini, which is really a fraction of the price. It's gonna be costing $100 or $99, and I think the reason they released that is so that it could actually compete with things like the Nest Mini and the one also on the Amazon side of things. Although actually the price is still, I think, $50 more than the competitors, but I think actually for people that are in the iPhone or in the Apple ecosystem, it's actually a good home speaker or smart home speaker for them or us to buy and try, and not having to buy this big guy. Now I'm pretty sure that thing is going to be a fraction of this speaker, but some of the features that actually they announced that guy is going to have include deep integration with iPhone. It's going to have amazing sound, hopefully for the size. It's going to actually also recognize multiple voices, so when it comes to give you custom updates to maybe your day, it's going to give you specific to the voice that's actually asking, similar to the feature that actually they have also on the Google side of things. It's also going to support intercom, which is basically the ability for you to send a message through various speakers if you have multiple speakers around the house. It's also going to give you the option to send those same message through maybe if you have AirPods, and as well as your iPhone. And also if you're using CarPlay in your car, I think you can also send those messages there. It also supports smart home control, so you can control your smart home from the device, which you can actually also do on this guy here. And one other feature actually that they announced is that you can actually hand over the music to the app, to the HomePod Mini if it's playing from your phone. And as you come close to the actual HomePod, which they showed, you actually get haptic feedback or haptic notification, both visual and physical, on your actual iPhone. And other thing that they announced is that if you have two of those HomePod Mini in one room, they actually automatically pair into a stereo pair. Yeah, they will go into stereo mode automatically. On the second part of the event, that's when they announced the iPhone 12, and they started by talking about 5G, and which is something actually that I saw or heard Jonathan Morrison speaking about, that we are really not ready yet for 5G. And if it was to pick between 5G and maybe 90 hertz, which they actually not announced, it actually would boil down, if I had to pick, I would pick 90 hertz display than 5G, because as I also was speaking with you guys on the live that we had not so long ago, in South Africa, the 5G that we have is the sub-6 5G, not the millimeter wave 5G. They are really slow, and if it's to use 5G, I think I'm okay with still 4G. Now the iPhone 12 has been redesigned. Actually, the whole lineup of the iPhones have been redesigned. They now gonna come looking like one of my favorite iPhones ever made, the iPhone 5S. This is actually not the SE, it's the 5S, which is only support, I think, iOS 12, so I'm quite behind on this guy. But this boxy shape of the iPhone is actually really good, and fun fact, you're gonna be able to put your phone standing, as well as I can actually do with this one. And moreover, they also announced the iPhone 12 mini, which is, I'm assuming, is going to be not that much bigger than the iPhone 5s. The regular iPhone 12 is going to be 6.1 inch, and the iPhone 12 mini is going to be 5.4 inch. So it's going to be slightly smaller than the iPhone SE in terms of body size, but in terms of screen real estate, is going to have a much bigger screen than the iPhone SE, which is really good. So some of the features that this iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 mini respectively are going to come with, actually there's a feature that is going to come in all of the new iPhones, which is the Super Retina XDR display, which is Apple's version of OLED display. They have this thing of giving their features these nice marketable names, as well as also the screen on these devices are going to be coated with a ceramic shield, which it's also made by Corning. Corning is the one that make Gorilla Glass. I think the latest Gorilla Glass they have is Gorilla Glass 6 Plus, which I'm thinking is basically the same thing, but obviously, as I mentioned, Apple likes giving their devices the specific marketable name, so they calling it ceramic shield. So all the iPhones will also have 5G support. They're also gonna come in new color. They will come in black, white, product red, green, and the blue. I think the color that I would go with if I had to pick would probably be blue or the white one, but I'm still not really sure which iPhone I want to go for, so I'm gonna have to make up my mind very soon. So obviously, as usual, they also had improvements on the camera. I know the wide angle camera has gone down to a 1.6 aperture, which will most definitely allow more light, and it's going to be a much faster lens, and they're also going to be recording 4K at 60 frames per second. So one other feature that Apple announced that all the iPhones are going to come with, which was announced while they were speaking about the iPhone 12, is the MagSafe. Now the MagSafe uses magnet to attach to a wireless charging, which should actually help you when it comes to align your phone to the charger properly when you are charging your devices wirelessly. But with that, they also came with a couple of accessories. So now the cases, the iPhone cases, both silicone and also the leather ones, will come with magnet. I'm guessing they will magnetize when you put your phone on the case. You're probably not gonna really have to force the case force the phone inside the case anymore. You'll just most probably drop the phone and it magnetized. They also came up with a new accessory, new wireless charging accessory, which you will be able to use to charge your Apple Watch as well as your iPhone at the same time. And the device also itself, it folds back together when you're not using it, so it's actually much easier for you to travel. And also, one thing I noticed on the event is that the charging animation actually on the iPhone might actually change, and it's going to look just like the animation on the Apple Watch when you connect it to the charger. So I'm assuming this is actually basically the same kind of technology or feature that they have come up with, which you just go and you put it and it magnetizes, and then you have the animation, the charging animation right there, which is actually, it's actually something. It's cool. It's a little feature or a little change, but it's actually quite cool of you to see. I'm actually hoping that there's also a sound and haptic feedback to it when you do this on the iPhone 12. And as well as also they announced these card holders that also use magnet, which you actually can attach behind your phone with or without the cover. Lastly, they announced the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now this year, the iPhone 12 Pro and iPhone 12 Pro Max are actually going to have features that the other one doesn't have, which is basically mostly around the camera itself. But I really don't see many people opting for the bigger model because of those features, because most of us actually don't think are going to be using that, or you'll be using that on a daily basis. But it's just a good thing to differentiate between both models. Also, one thing is that now the iPhone Pro, the regular Pro, also the size has has changed. I think it went from a 5.8 inch to a 6.1 inch, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max also went from 6.5 to 6.7 inch. And I also actually mentioned that the physical size of the phone actually didn't really change that much. But since they've already increased the size of the regular Pro, which is basically the same size as the 12, the normal 12, which also is the same size of the iPhone 11. So actually, I think that's actually the perfect size. So right now I'm in between the iPhone 12 Pro or the iPhone Mini in terms of which device I'm actually going to be getting. So one of the main features that you will actually not be getting on the regular iPhone 12 is the LiDAR camera or sensor, which is the same or the similar one that comes on the iPad Pros 2020, which will actually allow you to take proper portrait pictures. And the iPhone will also now be able to take Apple Pro RAW picture, which is basically Apple's version of RAW picture, which will allow you more editing room when it comes to editing your pictures. And in terms of the colors, the iPhone 12 Pro line will come in Pacific Blue, Gold, Graphite, and Silver. You're not going to have those funky colors that will come on the iPhone 12. So if you love those colors, you're going to have to settle with the lesser models. Now, just talking about pricing here in South Africa, let's try and speculate how much those phones are going to cost. And I actually want you guys to let me know down in the comments how much you think the phones are going to cost when they release in South Africa. I honestly think that since the iPhone SE is going for 10,000, the iPhone 12 mini is going to be around 14,000. This is rands. The iPhone 12 normal, the regular one, is going to be around 17,500, which is going to replace the iPhone 11 regular. And then the iPhone 12 Pro is going to be around 21,000, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to be most definitely around 23,000. So those ones are going to replace their respective models of the iPhone 11. And for the HomePod Mini, since that one is going for $100, I'm thinking it's going to most definitely be around 3,500, because the bigger brother in South Africa, which was actually not officially released, that one was $350. And here, if you have to buy one locally, you can actually find one for around 10,000 rand, which is actually ridiculous. So this is gonna be it for this video. Make sure you let me know down in the comments how much you think these devices are going to cost in South Africa. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you obviously subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you click the notification bells. Make sure you click the notification bells button so you can get notified whenever I upload a video, and I'm going to catch you guys on my next one. Peace.